To be clear, undocumented folk contribute approximately $100 billion in taxes. They pay into Social Security and they don't get to draw down on it. The reason you're not going to be able to afford your food is because of these failed immigration policies.
And the beauty of the people that are coming here is that they don't have these opportunities at economic wealth at all.
And we are back, y'all. Thank you for watching today. Go ahead and hit that like button, people. You know that it helps us out a lot, and it only takes a little flick of the finger from you. Now, y'all, today we're going to talk yet again about your girl, Jasmine Crockett. And why are we talking about Jasmine Crockett? Because she has a lot to say about immigrants and immigration. And it seems like almost everything she has to say, it can be summed up. Now, this is my paraphrase, okay? This is how I understand what Jasmine Crockett has to say. Looks like she's saying this. People are coming here without permission. She says that it's not a crime. You're going to see that coming up, but it absolutely is a crime to cross the border without permission. Now, y'all remember, Jasmine Crockett is a lawyer, okay? So she definitely does have the resources to look up what she's going to say before she says it, but apparently maybe she got confused. I don't know, but let me clear this up for her and for you. When someone comes across the border without permission, that is a crime. It's a misdemeanor, but it is a crime. When someone overstays a visa, so they have permission to be in the country and they overstay, that is a civil infraction. That is not a crime. So you're going to see here shortly Jasmine Crockett say that, oh, when you come across the border, it's not a crime. She said criminally cross the border is not a crime. What kind of lawyer would say that? Anyway, so it looks like her position is this. Look, we need to all just be quiet, right? Because they're coming across the border. They don't have any chance at wealth. They're going to pay Social Security and they can't even collect, which means it's free money for us. They're going to do all of the menial jobs that we don't want to do. So, Americans, don't say anything. We got it good. We have people who want to come here and work at slave wages for us. That's what it seems like her position is. But I'm going to let you decide. So we're just going to get into these clips. Donald Trump called her out, okay? So we're going to be jumping back and forth between Trump and some of the crazier things that Crockett has said about immigration. Let's go ahead and get into it.
You know, I said before, the Democrats have taken a lot of beatings. They have lost their confidence. They've gone crazy.
It is not a criminal violation to enter the country illegally. It's not a criminal. It's a crime. It's not a crime, which is why they're so frustrated, because they really want our local law enforcement to go out and round up people when they could be looking out for the murderers and the sexual abusers as well as the robbers. They want them to go and round people up on civil accusations.
They've gone crazy. How about this new one they have? Their new star, Crockett. How about her?
To be clear, undocumented folk contribute approximately $100 billion in taxes. They pay into Social Security and they don't get to draw down on it. So stop, again, allowing them to divide us and to demonize them.
Is that real? Are they serious about that? That's their new star? If that's their new star, they're in serious trouble.
So I had to go around the country and educate people about what immigrants do for this country, or the fact that we are a country of immigrants.
Right.
The fact is, ain't none of y'all trying to go and farm right now. Okay, so I'm lying. Raise your hands. You're not. We done picking cotton. We are. You can't pay us enough to find a plantation.
I mean, this is Crockett. Oh man.
What are we doing? And here's the deal. I would tell people all the time when I was on the trail, because I would tell them a few things. I would talk about my trans kids. Then I would talk about the immigrants, right? And I'd be like, he say they gonna take the black jobs. And then I'd say, now how many of you are raising kids to go and work on the farms? I'd be like, no. Don't do it at the same time. Please tell me, how many of you are sending your kids to college to go and work on Okay, well, guess who is working the farms? So that you can afford your food.
So that you can have food.
So that you can have food, right? And I'd say the same thing about, now, how many of you are looking to send your kids into hospitality after this college education so that they can go and make the beds at the hotels? How many of you are planning to send your kids to college? Because that's what we do here. We send everybody to college. How many of you are planning to send your kids to college so that they can then go and build these houses? So the reality is that so long as we live in a capitalist society, there's always going to be someone or a group of people that will do work that some of the rest of y'all don't want to do. It's just the reality. And the beauty of the people that are coming here is that they don't have these opportunities at economic wealth at all.
We've done a job, but they've totally lost their confidence. And it's a hard thing when you lose your confidence, but they've taken a lot of beatings, and now they're going to rely on Crockett to bring them back. Crockett's going to bring them back.
Yet the polling data, which shows some wobbliness of favorability for the president on the economy, consistently shows a majority of Americans, it might be a slim majority, but still a majority of Americans back him up on immigration. Are you getting something wrong in interpreting where the public on that issue actually is?
No, I'm not. One of the things that I hate about polling is that it is a very stagnant data point instead of doing something like having a focus group where you can have an actual conversation. I don't know exactly how these questions are being asked, but one thing that I can tell you is that if you sit down and you say, are you okay with your grocery prices? Are you okay with the fact that housing prices are going up? And you start to connect how important it is for us to have immigrants that are contributing to our country in this way, then people may start to shift. I just had a group in my office not even an hour ago explaining that we need to do more on immigration because they don't have the workers that they need, and they are in the construction realm. So I am telling you that this is a failed thing, but we've got to do better to connect the dots and let people know the reason you can't afford a home is because of these failed immigration policies. The reason you're not going to be able to afford your food is because of these failed immigration policies. And the same can go for the hospitality industries, where we have so many of those in the hospitality industry that are saying they do not have the workers that they need right now.
We've done a job, but they've totally lost their confidence. And it's a hard thing when you lose your confidence.
I kind of already feel like I know what y'all are going to say, but let me say this, y'all. I am not pearl clutching about and calling this racism by Jasmine Crockett. A lot of people want to call this a racist rant. Immigrant is not a race, y'all. Mexican is not a race. Latino is not a race, okay? Within Mexican is a nationality. Latino is, I don't even know, frankly, it's just an amalgamation of different nationalities and one kind of common, somewhat shared culture and history, but it's certainly not a race. You have black Latinos, you have white Latinos, you have Latinos from different ethnic groups. So it's certainly not a race. So I don't call it racism. Is it classism? Choose your ism, but I like to try to use my terms properly. Frankly, I don't know what it is, okay? It doesn't sound right, okay? But it's also true, right? She's expressing the truth of the matter. She's saying the quiet part out loud. So it's offensive, right? So sometimes people will say, I'm just telling the truth. Yeah, everything that's true, you don't always have to say. So what she's doing is she's saying the truth out loud, and it's one of those truths that, while true, it's offensive to say it that way, but she's simply telling the truth. The American country has depended on very cheap labor from people who illegally crossed the border, and some people who came across legally but with intentions of staying here. Okay, so it is what it is. So while I disagree with her tone, I disagree with her flippant attitude, y'all, we have to keep it real. We have to keep it real. But I don't agree. What I don't agree with is let's perpetuate this situation. I do not agree that we should continue this situation, but I will say that we have all benefited from this having happened up until now. Now, has anybody suffered? Have any Americans suffered? Yes. So you could be a person who both suffered on one hand and benefited on another. Let's be real. We're adults here, right? We have to look at the situation as it is. So while I think the way she's phrasing it is gross, while I think the way she's phrasing it is offensive, she's still telling the truth, y'all. She's still telling the truth. The American system has integrated and has relied on to some level people coming across that border and working for very cheap. Okay. And it's time to change that. That's what I've been talking about on this channel. It's time to make a change on that. So I think we're in the process of making that change. Hopefully the change will continue and we'll figure out a way forward. I want to hear what y'all have to say. Let me know down in the comments. But before you do, please stop, hit the share button, share this video out with somebody. Who do you know that would want a greatest hits of Jasmine Crockett's stupidest comments related to immigration or to migrants? Put that person's email, text message, WhatsApp, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat. Send this video to that person that wants to see Jasmine Crockett's stupidest greatest hits. Okay. All right, y'all. I want to thank y'all for watching. Of course, if you're not a subscriber, please do subscribe. Love y'all, and we'll see you back in the next one.